After a decade apart, news reporter Yuki reunites with her first love Subin, whom she knew back in high school. Drunk and vulnerable, she finally confesses the feelings she has hidden for years. She wakes up the next morning sober, shocked to find herself sleeping at Subin's place, eager to seize a long-awaited promotion opportunity. Yuki returns to her hometown to find Subin, hoping to persuade him to appear on her program once again. Yet the moment she steps into his house, Subin douses her entirely with a shower spray. He hands her fresh clothes to change into and reveals that he has recently noticed being followed. After looking into the matter, he discovered the stalker was none other than Yuki's younger brother. Instantly realizing Yuki had sent him to find out where he lived, after changing her clothes, Yuki suddenly presents him with a bouquet of flowers, speaking softly and trying to win him over. Under the pretense of gratitude, she invites him to star on her show. Determined to convince him, she follows closely at his heels, admitting that if Subin agrees to participate in the program, she will secure a crucial breakthrough in her career. Subin does not give an immediate answer. Instead, he takes Yuki out for dinner and carefully picks out all the carrots she dislikes from her meal. On their way back, the program producer calls Yuki, pressing her repeatedly about her progress and urging her to convince Subin as soon as possible. Subin takes the phone unexpectedly and firmly agrees to appear on the show. He states plainly that if appearing on television can change Yuki's life for the better, he is willing to do it. Along with his promise, Subin hands Yuki the script they co-wrote years ago, Melody of Sincere Love. He leaves the entirely decision to her, whether to complete this unfinished script or abandon it for good. As he gives her the script, Subin finally explains the truth behind their separation 10 years ago. On that day Yuki had waited for him at his house. He had been locked indoors by his father. Having failed his academic exams and refused to apply for medical school as his family demanded, he was punished and confined to his room. After 10 days of being trapped indoors, Subin finally gave in and agreed to study abroad in the United States as his father wished. He tells Yuki he does not expect her understanding or forgiveness after all these years. He only hopes the truth will ease the hurt in her heart a little, yet Yuki finds no comfort in his explanation. To her, being pitted by him is far more painful than remembering him as the cold, unforgivable boy from her memories. Unlike Subin, who now lives a stable life, Yuki still struggles tirelessly to make ends meet. Overwhelmed by the hardships of life, she hesitates before tossing their old script into the trash. A few days later, Subin finds the sweater he once lent her hanging at his doorway, returned without a word. A wave of sorrow washes over him. While crossing the road, Yuki's bag is knocked open, and a hair tie falls out. The trivial object reminds her of the one Subin once gave her, as well as the car accident that happened 10 years ago. Frozen in place, she fails to notice an oncoming car speeding toward her. This time, Subin rushes forward just in time to protect her. Staring at the man before her eyes, Yuki feels a surreal overlap of past and present, as if he has returned to her side once more, as if all the tragic events that followed had never happened at all. With tears welling up in her eyes, she pulls Subin into a tight embrace. After calming her emotions, Yuki confesses to Subin that she no longer hates carrots. As a journalist, she has long been forced to let go of petty preferences and adapt to everything life throws at her. Her tone softens with sorrow as she murmurs how time changes everything. Beautiful memories fade, yet painful ones remain vivid and fresh. Subin reassures her that this is exactly why they should hold tightly to their precious good memories. His words gradually change Yuki's heart. That night, she retrieves the discarded script from the trash. Every line recorded on the pages holds her brightest and most precious youthful memories. 10 years ago, Yuki and Subin had spent countless days brainstorming the plot, imagining every twist and fate their story's characters might face. Staring at her old photo from the script competition she once won, Yuki's heart stirs gently, and a newfound courage slowly begins to take root within her. Subin meets up with his close friend Representative Sue, the owner of a film production company. In front of him, Subin falls into reminiscence. He recalls the first time he came to see Representative Sue, penniless and clutching only the script he had polished tirelessly through years of singing practice. For Subin, that script had been his driving force and the pillar of his dreams. Now, however, he cannot help but wonder, if Melody of the Capital had stayed with Yuki back then, would she have pushed forward bravely just like him? Would she never have abandoned her dream? Yuki's best friend Xiaojian is also chasing his dream of becoming an outstanding actor. In reality, he can only land insignificant extra roles. He keeps auditioning for major parts relentlessly, only to fail every single time. Recently, he fortuitously crossed paths with Hana, a top-tier A-list actress in South Korea who has grown up under the spotlight since childhood. One day, after wrapping up the first half of her shoot, Hana sits on a roadside motorcycle eating a rice roll. Hearing Xiaojian's stomach growling loudly, she hands him her food. Learning that she is sitting on Xiaojian's motorcycle, Hana refuses to get off and instead asks him to give her a ride. Xiaojian agrees and carefully fastens a safety helmet on her. Hana sits happily on the back seat, wrapping her arms tightly around his waist, letting go of all her troubles in the moment. That night, Xiaojian heads up to the rooftop of his apartment building, only to find Hana waiting for him there. He asks curiously how she found his home address. Hana does not answer, but shares how it felt to ride on his motorcycle that afternoon. It was a feeling she had never experienced before. She asks if he can keep accompanying her like this, and Xiaojian nods eagerly. Hannah then confesses candidly that due to her long-term acting career, she has mastered all kinds of skills yet has never learned how to make friends. Moved by her words, Xiaojian asks if she wants to be his friend. Hannah smiles and agrees, returning the safety helmet to him as a gift for their new friendship. Spotting her phone number written inside the helmet, Xiaojian smiles softly. Meanwhile, Yuki is called out by her producer under the pretense of a work meeting, only to realize he merely wants her to work as his designated driver. Frustrated and speechless, she is saved by the sudden appearance of Subin, who lies that Yuki has been drinking and cannot drive. Yuki plays along, pretending to be intoxicated. Subin pushes the producer aside and pulls Yuki protectively into his arms. Yet desperate to keep her job, Yuki immediately defends the producer timidly, claiming he is actually a good person. Subin refuses to indulge him, pointing out bluntly that it has always been Yuki who sustains the program's ratings, while the incompetent producer only takes credit for her hard work. Having had enough, Yuki snatches the car keys, forces the producer into the car, and speeds wildly along the road, sending him jolting and bouncing around the vehicle. She then yanks him out of the car, declares that she is cutting all ties with him, and finally hurls his car keys straight into the river. Subin follows closely behind. Noticing her shirt has been torn by the producer, he takes off his coat and drapes it gently over her shoulders. The two sit down to drink, and Yuki pours out all her pent-up grievances. She reveals she took the job solely to pay off her family's debts and has stuck with it for years. No matter how hard she works, she could be replaced at any moment. Tears well up in her eyes as she complains that Subin, this stubborn man, keeps following her and won't even let her cry freely. Subin gently wipes away her tears, confessing that Yuki has always lingered in his mind, past and present. Yuki finally voices her true feelings. What she truly regrets is not missing Subin, but abandoning her own dream. The next morning, Yuki wakes up drunk and bewildered on a hotel bed, hearing the sound of a hairdryer coming from the bathroom. She hurries to get dressed and sneak away, but the doorbell rings suddenly. Representative Su has come to visit Subin. Panicked, Yuki hides in the bathroom and claps her hand over Subin's mouth to keep him quiet. She accidentally triggers the shower, drenching Subin completely. Face to face with the shirtless Subin standing inches away, Yuki's heart races uncontrollably.